not, that's also fine. So I'm going to start today off with a little fun question. If you had to do one thing over and over every day, what would it be? So I will start and model and say, if I had to do one thing over and over every day, it would be get a massage. And I pass to Andrew.
I'd say eating good food. I'll pass it to Santi.
I think I would spend only 10 minutes of siesta every day after lunch. And I'll pass it to Zeptimus.
Oh no, we can't hear you, Zep.
Oh, I had my microphone muted. Like, if I had to do something like every day, I just hanging on a bar, like that's needed. But yeah, and I'll pass it to Anderson.
Yeah, if I was to do something every day, it'd be acro yoga, because I have a traveling artist in my life right now, so she's been getting me up every morning to do acro yoga. I think it's pretty powerful stuff, so I want to keep that rolling. And I'm gonna pass it to Tam.
Hey, hi. I love that answer. I love acro yoga. I would say spend time with people I love as much of the day as I can. And I'll pass it to AMW Fund.
Hi, Tam. My name's Craig.
Hi, Craig.
Would love to take a 1 hour nap after after lunch every day, Santi. 1 hour.
Nice. Well, I'll take it. Honestly, doing these calls with all you guys is like, I love it. I could do it every day, and I do it every day, and every day is a good day. And I'll pass it to Livia.
If I could do something every day, I would dance. I'm almost good at doing that every day, but some days I don't do. So if I was more regular on that, I would love it. Who haven't everybody?
Everybody's gone. So I will take it and say dance is probably right up there with massage. And I was actually thinking, because I have friends at Decentralized Dance Party, many of you may know, and I have been in a few projects where we actually kicked off our calls with like a 1-song dance party. So I'm just gonna leave that on the table if anybody's up for that. It can either be like super awkward if people are awkward, but I always really enjoy it. And we actually celebrated Jeff's brother got married like a couple of weeks ago, and we did a virtual wedding, and it was really, really cool. It was like we were there. So I'm just going to throw that out for a virtual dance party if we ever want to give that a shot. I feel like this crew has such good vibes that could be really fun. So, and it can be random, whenever the spontaneity comes, to keep it playful. So it's not like every week unless we want to. So anyway, so I am going to be a little bit on the fly today because I actually have been working up to the minute of this call. So I haven't had too much call planning time, but I'm just going to go down the agenda. And thanks everybody for sharing. I really enjoyed your answers, really fun ones. Didn't know what to expect, so that was great. So let's see here. I know Tamara is joining us for the first time, and Andrew, again, appreciate you coming. I know how busy you are. So the main things today are, I'm going to go over a few of the things that we've been trying to iron out to get a little more polished and proactive. We're trying to shift a little bit from like being really reactive, which I still feel like is happening, but getting a little more organized with like the GitHub issues and whatnot. So I just wanted to say the main thing still lingering. Well, I guess first, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So I just published right before this call, our economy, your choice, which actually is a typo. So I should probably fix that right now. That's supposed to be your. So we have this praise blog every week, and it's kind of serving a dual purpose of newsletter and like what's the latest and greatest, plus that we have the impact hours so everybody can see like, hey, we actually are tracking these things. You actually will earn tokens for all the time you're spending with us. So I've published this blog, which actually there's a lot going on. Sometimes I don't know until I read these. So the main thing is like starting the discussion around the hatch parameters. So how long should the hatch be? What factors should we use to decide the min and max? And what percentage of funds raised should go to the funding pool? So Griff and Santi have been doing a really awesome job in the forum, starting these discussions. So now we need everybody's help to actually get people to engage in this dialogue. So I was hoping by featuring that in the blog that we could actually get people to do that. And if all the people on this call, I think, Andrew, we would love to hear your thoughts. You always have fantastic ideas, and Sean, and everybody here, if you have some time, I'm going to tweet the blog and do all the shilling. But yeah, we really could just use like a comms effort to get everybody to chat about this. And maybe we want to consider talking about it a little bit on the Thursday call. I'm happy to give up the comms spot because right now comms is like very heads down, just working. And there's only so much to talk about because there's so many things in the works. So yeah, we just want to get people engaging in that dialogue on the forum. And then the other feature in the blog was the results of Test Hatch 1. So Griff kind of wrote up a post view of Test Hatch 1, if you recall, was us practicing buying test tech tokens in a hatch on the Rinkeby test network from a bonding curve. So we had this interface at the time, and that closed. And so we had some learnings, and basically people could see like how many tokens, if we said, okay, we have a 35% tribute, which is basically, it's kind of like a tax on people exiting the bonding curve to go to the community funding pool. So what would that actually look like in number of tokens and things? So that's really cool to look at. And then the developers are working on, I'm calling it bonding curve 2.0. So this showing off the interface, it looks really fancy. And then just kind of previewing that we will have a second test of buying from the bonding curve and that it's going to be real money. So I just already said like, hey, whatever you give is going to go to the common pool, and would take like a conviction voting funding proposal to send any funds back. So just kind of giving a heads up. And then I said like, hey, free XDAI, because people always like free money and tokens, because conviction voting is still live. And there's actually only, what, Griff, $42 or 42 XDAI has been requested. So there's still 258 XDAI just sitting there. So I thought that would be a good way to engage with people to see like, hey, go get some free XDAI and have fun and learn submitting a proposal. And then finally, the Impact Hours leaderboard. Santi's bringing it in this week at the top spot. And Zeptimus also is second. Zeptimus, Craig, Manu, a lot of the people on this call. So yeah, we have the praise quantification meeting every other Friday. So if anybody wants to jump into that and see how the process works. So I'm going to be tweeting that. Would appreciate your help retweeting and shilling. And then the main other thing I wanted to share was the only other platform that is still in the works, and that's going to be really important, especially for the onboarding information, is the website. Manu and Blair over the weekend worked on it a little bit. They're both crazy busy, but Manu has passed off all the infos to Blair, and Blair and I are going to have a hack session this week, or if anyone else wants to jump in and help to push this thing, because Blair got a new job, so he has a lot less time to contribute, which is okay because we know people are busy and things change. But if anybody would like to jump into the website to try to help me push this, I would definitely appreciate it. And I know Blair would. So I'm not sure if anybody's down to help us with that effort. But other than that, the platform's great, just still polishing, and I've got to go through and update the logos for all the social media. So that's basically it. I still do have the intention of doing an onboarding video. I would like to maybe start a draft of that this week, maybe at the end of the week, and start to work on that. I'm just going through the deliverables. And yeah, we still do need to push forward on the story canvas. So if anybody is interested in website or high-level narratives, but I think we have some help, Griff, with Eduardo, the new contributor. We should invite him to the calls. I didn't get a chance actually, but maybe we can invite him, or I can just reach out and.
Yeah, I had a call with him today. He's really excited to work with Craig and Jonas on the onboarding group, but obviously onboarding and comms are like tight. So they'll probably have a lot of requests for comms. Now that you've got the whole infrastructure there, now it's almost like, hey, oh no, comms, we need this. Oh no, comms, we need that. I think onboarding, the onboarding working group will be your #1 customer.
Yeah. So, and yeah, Zeptimus says, I just have to say again, like, we appreciate you so much. The fact that you record these calls and YouTube, like, this is amazing. Thank you so much for taking responsibility and ownership of that. It really, really helps me very much. And I'm hoping that we can find some more champions going forward for a few channels like Twitter. I think we're going to have some help from a few others, Eduardo and also Chris. So things are looking good. But yeah, does anybody have any questions, thoughts on the main deliverables? Otherwise, we'll move to the main thing we need to talk about today, which is Gitcoin grants. But before we move on, any questions, thoughts? Anybody like has so much free time and wants to help with anything, or any feedback?
Well,
I have a
one thing that.
question.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So what we still need to work on is this story website, and that's the deliverables, right? Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I've broken it down by like. We have like our main deliverables. That's every week I'm pushing things forward. And then we usually have 1 or 2 bigger topics that we actually need to discuss in this call. But yeah, as far as deliverables go, those are the kind of main things that are needing a little bit of love and that I haven't had energy to really push. So.
Okay, I'll ask you for the link to the story canvas later.
Nice. And there's a GitHub issue for the website. I just posted in the comms channel.
Thanks, Griff. And yeah, Andrew, I'll touch base with you. But basically, we did this whole story canvas exercise. And if you'd like to contribute to that, that would be awesome. And then what we want to do is take this canvas and move it to more of like a strategy and actionable document about what does the story want to tell, you know, what is considered a success, and any like outbound, we'll start looking to maybe do some outbound communications as we get closer to the launch. So we have time. It's not a super rush, but it's something that is happening, you know, little by little. So yeah. Craig, did you also have something you were gonna ask or say?
Yeah. Thanks. So Jess, what's the preference, and maybe you don't have one, I don't know, about taking forum blog posts and pushing them out to through our own blog venues? I myself, through my own project, have 3 or 4 blogs, and I would like to communicate those pieces, but I don't have the time to write my own fresh piece. So what's the preference? I mean, yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts there.
Do you mean, if I'm hearing you correctly, you mean like repurposing the forum posts into blogs, or you mean just sharing our forum wider and kind of just reposting and saying, hey, come engage in this dialogue?
Yeah, I think either or. I think those are probably the 2 sort of paths I would take. You know, it could be as simple as just, hey, here's a link, come join us and blah, blah, blah. Or it could be, I'm going to selectively copy and paste out of your blog posts and craft a much shorter type of blog posts in my own forums.
I mean, I certainly welcome any and all like wider sharing or repurposing of content. So I'd say if you have the time and bandwidth, I'm happy to help you to edit, or we can do a work session together. So I'm totally open to whatever form that takes. I'd say for now, I'm still kind of focused on the like finding champions for things, and like I'm like catalyzing or pushing stuff, and then if somebody wants to take it, I hand it off. So my bandwidth is a little low, but anything you have time for, feel free to just go nuts. And if you want to bounce anything off of me or the stewards or anybody on this call, then so welcome.
Okay, yeah, thanks. That's great advice. And I don't need to bother you. I know you're super busy, and if I do at 0dark30 sometime get around to it, I'll be sure that I ping folks saying, hey, look, here's a blog post on our web monetized community blog site for our school. And that's largely what I do with them, is put them on web monetized sites and hope that users stream donations our way. But it also, will bring awareness to all of this. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And yeah, I want to welcome Blair. Thanks so much for coming. I know how busy you are with your new job, and I wanted to give you a chance to answer today's question, which is, if you had a chance to do one thing, if you could only do one thing over and over every day, what would it be? I think I might know the answer.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be like surfing and eating, maybe, or something.
How you going? I appreciate that you connected with Manu about the website, and I was just saying, we might find some other helpers around to help us push that. So just let me know how you're going, and we can connect on that after the call and see when we can fit in a hack sesh or ask for some other support if we need.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
How's
Thanks.
that? Cool. So yeah, we were just going over like deliverables, so we're pretty much caught up on that. Any other thoughts, feedback, questions, or anything on deliverables, platforms? Okie doke. So the next thing and the main topic of today's call, and yeah, we will, I think, Craig, be working a lot with the onboarding group, so I'll be coming to the call tomorrow, because a big part of our work will also be kind of campaigns around getting people prepared for the hatch. But today, I know a big discussion point is about Gitcoin grants. So Craig or Griff, would you like to lead that discussion? We have a GitHub issue. I can share my screen and pull up the GitHub issue. And do you guys want to lead that discussion? We could use feedback as well from people on this call to make some decisions around that.
Yeah, I'll defer to Griff if you want. I mean, he has a more full, but I can pitch in wherever.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I love Gitcoin grants. I'm a big fan, and it's not even about raising the money. We have our own funding stream. It's really about project discovery, and there's so many cool people that go through Gitcoin grants to see what the community is doing. And if we could communicate really clearly in just probably one paragraph, and then have some links if people want to learn more in our Gitcoin grant, we'll end up recruiting a lot of cool people that want to learn more. Maybe they want to contribute. Maybe they want to be a hatcher. Maybe they want to create a project for the TE Commons. The real goal here is project discovery. Of course, it's also nice to raise some funds, but yeah, we already have a Gitcoin grant, so it should be pretty easy. We just have to update it. Probably send an email out to the people who, not an email, but in Gitcoin grants, there's a little section where you can just say, hey, these are the updates of what's happening, and so I think with Gitcoin grants, we just need someone to say, yep, I'm on it, and then whoever's who's ever carrying that flag, they make sure that they hit the steps. But there really shouldn't be that much to do. Revise the grant, make some updates, and send out an email or send out a little chat message.
Welcome, Sam. And yeah, so we're discussing right now Gitcoin grants and Panvala matching league. So I don't think everybody knows what that is. Griff, can you just give like a 1 minute on what's the Panvala league? And
yeah. So that's right. Craig was talking about, should we make a Panvala league community? I would say that we don't necessarily need to, because the Commonstack is already a Panvala league community. And Panvala is super cool. Panvala is the most blatant commons out there, right? Like, they're doing exactly what we want to do. We're just doing we're doing ours in a very complicated, more decentralized, robust way. Whereas Panvala is being very explicit. They just print money and give it to good people. That's it, And that's really the core of what we're doing when we're creating economies around public good causes. Panvala is like the most blatant, simple solution. It's just like, we print money, Niran builds a good culture, and make sure that there's like a community effort to send Pan every quarter to good projects. So the way that they've evolved into, because originally it was literally just, hey, who wants some money? Who wants some tokens? It's not even money because it's not worth anything yet. Who wants some tokens, right? And then people are like, I don't know, sure, Niran, you're cool. I'll play your game, in my free time in the bear market. And so they were giving grants. And then it was like, oh, Gitcoin's here. Well, what if we just say, hey, anyone who donates to something with Pan, we match it with the inflation. And then it evolved to, okay, now there's these leagues. And so the only people who get a lot of matching are the leagues. Some matching, I think you get 1x matching. So you get double your money. Anytime you donate to any Gitcoin grant, you get twice as much Pan as you donated. But then with the league matching, I think we raised, we got about 19x, I think. Is that right, Jess? I kind of forget.
Yeah, I don't remember the final numbers, but basically, yeah, it's an extra hack on Gitcoin grants that can, 19x or 10x, however many x, depending on how it all shakes down. They print money. If you donate in Pan, we get a lot more money.
Yeah.
So we need to decide basically, as TEC, we can keep everything under the Commonstack. And what we did last time was a conviction voting to rank the grants. And then the top 15 got extra matching, which the TEC did. So I think we will be in the top, echelon to receive money because everybody in the Commonstack community wants to see this fly. So is there a difference in workload, or it's kind of the same whether we, it's a lot more work basically to do our own Panvala league versus just staying under the Commonstack, right? But for project discovery, is it better if we go on our own league, or will we get as much visual exposure if we stay in the Commonstack? Is that the main question, Craig? Also,
Craig.
Right. So good question and good description, Griff. I agree. It makes sense to keep it as is if there are no huge benefits, because it is work, extra work. And so I'm happy to hear that. And I'm also, for folks' information, I'm also a caucus member in Panvala. And so Niran and I were chatting, and he's been kind of saying, hey, you guys need to start your own league. Let's go. And, so we've had some back and forth. And so I just wanted to put that out to people, because I wasn't clear, strategy wise, what was the best route. But so yeah, I don't really have much to add other than Griff gave a good overview of that whole collaboration with Gitcoin. So it seems like we just want to stay Commonstack and do that.
I think it's easiest, honestly. There would be a big benefit if we because if the token engineering league wanted to, if maybe maybe we could kick it to the token engineering community and say, hey, Angela, Shebnem, does anyone want to lead a group? But I think everyone's too busy. And it is a little bit of work. Like, you'd have to talk to Niran, you'd have to set up the league, set up the grant, make a plan for how you're going to distribute the funds, join all the league stuff. And since we're already doing it with the Commonstack, I don't know, duplicating efforts feels a little extra. And we don't need the extra money. That's the thing. Like, the big win would be, we'd get extra donations. But I don't think that we're hurting on a need for donations. We earned a few $1,000s in the last round, and it's just sitting there. So.
Okay, so it sounds like we're leaning towards no, but the last question is, do you think this would help the hatch in seeing as we could get more visibility amongst all these influencers and whatnot? How much of an impact, or do you think?
I think Gitcoin's better for visibility than Panvala League. Well, I mean they'd both be, but I don't see Panvala being hey everyone, look at this. It's really just if you're in the league, you go tell your people, hey, donate to this grant, and then they donate. There's not a big Panvala network effect.
Right. And if the community in the future wanted to pursue that, we can totally make it an issue, and because they are growing, and I don't think they're going to cap league members anytime soon. So if we collectively felt like getting that extra reach was worth it and we had the bandwidth to do it, then I don't think there's really a push right now.
Okay, so it sounds like based on this that we stay under the Commonstack, and maybe on the next round we can do another consideration for moving out on our own when maybe we have more resources and hands on deck. Does everybody agree, or any other thoughts or discussions with? I know maybe some people don't, people don't have the full context, but based on the pros and cons that we're discussing, everybody want to give a thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't feel like chatting? Up meaning we stay under Commonstack. Okay. Tamara's saying neutral vote. Okay, abstain proposal.
Neutral.
All right, well, one neutral. Andrew, I'm guessing you're Jill and Sean. Okay. Well, seems like a consensus anyway. We don't want to make more work for ourselves. So, okay. The other thing is, while we're here, 2 more points is, Craig, did you have any updates on, Craig did the very amazing task of going and reaching out to everyone on Telegram that had joined TEC to follow up and see if they'd applied to join the Trusted Seed to get their C-Stack tokens. Did you have any updates on that? Or otherwise we can move the onboarding discussion to the call tomorrow.
Yeah, not so much. It's been pretty quiet in there. I still have some random interactions with people that, some people apply, lots of people don't. Occasionally someone will reach out with questions, but it's largely quieted down. We had a pretty good push there for a while. So, but yeah, I'm still sort of leading that effort up along with Griff. And if you have more people that want to get into that, certainly push them my way, but that's all.
Okay. And all right, that sounds good. If I also wanted to, oh yeah, go ahead.
Just on that point, there'll be another push when probably in about a week and a half when we have the next hatch. So we'll have another test hatch in, definitely not this week, because we actually, tech spec got delayed a week on the bonding curve. We're having some issues, so it won't be this Thursday, it won't be next Thursday, it'll be the Thursday after, so maybe even 2 weeks. We'll have another push for, hey, get your address out there so we can get you to be practicing on the hatch.
Praise giving.
Okay.
Yeah, praise giving. Yeah.
We can talk about that in a second. But yeah, actually, I was gonna just go do Griff to do the tech spec update. So I guess that's it. So again, just for context, because I know everybody's so busy to keep up, and you haven't read the blog yet. Basically, with the development, we had test hatch 1 and those results came in. And now in 2 weeks, like Griff is saying, we're going to have the second iteration of the bonding curve and buying into the hatch practice. So we've all kind of agreed that before any tech release, we'll come together and powwow and get all the details so that we can hack on some onboarding materials, like how to use this thing and play with it. And also, this one is going to be really important because, again, people can put real money in. So we have to tell them, hey, don't put more than a couple of dollars or whatever that all of it's going to go to the common pool for token engineering, and it would take some work to get it back to you. So yeah, before the release, we'll have we agreed at least 1 day and maybe 2, so that we can come together as comms onboarding and work together to make sure that we have like a little bit of a coordinated campaign around these releases. So it's not like we release something into the wild and then people are asking us one-on-one, oh wait, how do I do this? How do I do this? So that process has definitely seen improvement. And the last thing is, I guess while we have everyone here, and I appreciate your time, and we actually can wrap a little early too, but I thought it'd be good to kind of go around and hear, what do you feel you would like to know more about? Or what do you think we should be communicating about that we haven't? Because I feel like sometimes we get a little like tunnel vision in that we know what's happening and what everything means, but maybe some people in the community, would like to know more about maybe some people don't even really understand fully like hatch and conviction voting. So does anybody want to share a little bit about like what you think is not being communicated, or kind of where are our blind spots? I don't know, Santi, if you want to start. I feel like you always have good reflections.
Yeah, I think there's one post that Luke posted in the forum, in One Hive forum, about a week ago, and he added sort of a schema of all the inflows and outflows of One Hive community. And I think giving sort of a roadmap of how are we gonna launch the community and the project, and after launching, how is it gonna be funded, and how money is gonna come in and how money is gonna come out. I think it would be a nice way for those who still have seen some parts. They understand conviction voting, they sort of understand the hatch, but somehow they are lacking the whole flow of how things are going to come together. I think that would be a nice way a nice communication to some of the people that's been participating and contributing, but doesn't have the whole picture on their head. And I can try to find that forum post from Luke and send it to you.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I feel like I also have been thinking we need a visual representation. And we've done this a lot with Commonstack. Maybe I can ask Jeff or somebody to put together, or I don't know, if anyone here is good with like drawing things, what is it? Not Figma. What is that other program that they make diagrams in? And then I can hand it off to Marco and we can try to get Lucid Chart, that's what it is. So there's this tool, Lucid Chart. You can make diagrams and see, you're saying like the inflow, kind of like what we have some of this material with the Commonstack, but you're saying like particularly for the TEC and brand it and make it nice looking.
I would say that if someone wants to carry that flag, I would love to just like brain spew on the different pieces and the flows, and we could make it as like just as the critical flows. Like maybe we don't talk about how dandelion voting can change the parameters. We don't need to talk about these things. We don't need to talk, just like a hatch flow, and just like I could totally do that. I think Marco would love to put that together. So, but we would need someone to carry the flag. I would say let's make a GitHub. Sorry, Random Shinichi.
Nothing. Could you explain again what this this lucid chart is for?
Lucid
chart is just a program. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, but what are we making in it? This chart.
Like basically a stock and flow diagram of the TEC hatch. Showing like money comes in from the community and then they buy into the bonding curve and then that mints tokens and then can burn back. There's an exit tribute and that goes to the funding pool and then a little funding pool and the conviction voting DAO where people make proposals. So the kind of, like, would you call it a stock and flow,
I think
Griff?
I need practice doing that, but didn't Angela already do that in the TE Academy?
For the Commonstack?
Oh, not for the Commonstack. She did it for the TE Commons.
She did? Oh, wow. Well, then we should start there.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, you're right. I think that, you're right. The students were mapping that, no? So maybe there's something we can already hand to Marco.
Who was, do you guys remember who was working on that?
I just remember Angela was working on that. I'll write her about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll drop a link also to the workspace. It's in Miro, so you guys can check out that the workspace that they put their stock and flow diagrams together in. I'll drop a link.
Awesome.
Okay, and we have a design flow channel with Marco already set up. So I think if, Andrew or Sean, if you find anything, just message me and then we can talk. Yeah, we'll just check with Angela and then hand it off to Marco. Okay, wow, fantastic. Santi, that's a great idea. So yeah, we will make it, I'll make a GitHub issue for that. So does anyone else want to share blind spots or things that you think would be good for us to communicate about?
I think we talk about this last call about giving more of a spotlight to TE projects. And maybe this could become an issue and more of an initiative to like...
Maybe Sean or Septimus, you guys have been hanging out for a couple of weeks, and how are you like viewing things? Are things clear? Do you think we could be doing a better job?
Did you not hear Livia? Livia was just talking.
Oh no. Sorry, I can't hear. I'll refresh.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, Discord. Sorry, Olivia.
No, it's okay. I think Discord doesn't like us communicating with each other, Jess, because I always have to refresh when you speak too.
Okay, I can hear you. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah, I was just saying about how we could put more effort on promoting TE projects and making that like a big part of our narrative, because that will like prevent us from falling into DAO to DAO type of thing. And yeah, and I'm happy to help on that issue, like cat herding people and maybe just doing small interviews with people that are carrying TE projects and bringing them over and bringing them more to our Thursday call also.
Yes, please.
For me, like I'm from a couple of weeks now, but I don't understand like the major goal. Like for example, I know we wanna fund public goods, but for example, if someone wants to do something about the, let's say the English word, the earth is going to burn, not burn, but someone know the word, like the change.
Yeah, climate change.
Yeah.
Environment.
Sorry. Thank you.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, good job.
For example, that would if someone wants to help in that, he can do it through Commonstacks or the TEC or not.
Yeah, I think this is that's a really good point, and I think that's kind of the blog post Jess is working on now, because the difference between TEC and Commonstack, where the TEC, and this is what I was going to say was my thing. It's kind of related to what Livia said, but like just really promoting this idea of what are token engineering public goods. What are public goods in the token engineering space? What does that even mean? You know, because the TEC is focused on creating value for public goods in the token engineering space and coordinating efforts to create value in that space. The Commonstack is like when we put on our Commonstack hat, like, oh, we want to do this for everything. We want to do this for global warming. We want to do this for orphans. We want to do this for roads, you know? But for the TE Commons, this is just one instance where it's like, oh, we're going to do this for token engineering public goods. And that's mostly a choice because working with this stuff sucks. Working with crypto is really hard. I'm not like excited for orphans, people helping orphans to like accidentally send ether to the wrong place or something like that. You know, like it's not, whereas the token engineers, not only do we not have to worry about them like getting hurt because like they know how to use MetaMask for the most part, but we also get the benefit of they're going to make this system work better, right? And so if we make the token engineering commons is going to be it's almost like the Commonstack is tricking the token engineering community to like make better commons tools, you know, because, oh, now they're invested, now they have their own commons. So these are the best people to make it better. And then when they make it better, those merges go upstream and other people can start making commons off of the template. So like the token engineering commons, we're trying to create a DAO, an economy around public goods for the commons, you know, for the token engineering like field. And then Garden Swarm, like the tech team that we're working with, they're building a template so that anyone can go to aragon.onehive.org and click gardens. And then just with like filling out in like 5 minutes, they could deploy a whole economy. And then the Commonstack is like, oh, maybe you should spend more than 5 minutes deploying that economy. You know, here's the cultural template that you should spend months getting people and a trusted seed and a group together to like make your economy actually achieve the missions and vision and values that you want to achieve. And so it would be great to like kind of get that idea out there, which Jess is already working on, and I think it'd be really cool also to, especially for the token engineering commons, to really highlight what are public goods in the TE field.
Actually, I have a, I just wrote a blog post on that last week. It's actually called What is Commonstack and the Token Engineering Commons? I'm not sure if it explains it the way that you are aiming for, particularly, Griff, but I sent it to you last time, the draft of that one, and now it's finished. Maybe I could do a follow-up piece to kind of re-explain it from a different angle, something like that. Because I also don't know much about One Hive and the Gardens thing, so I really need some education on that part too.
What's funny, Random Shinichi, you know better than almost anyone, because it's really just your model, but with smart contracts.
Oh, wait, what? I don't understand.
Yeah, like the CAD simulator model that you're doing, the common simulator. It's just a bonding curve connected to conviction voting with people, you know, buying tokens and voting on conviction voting. That's exactly it. That's what One Hive Gardens is. It's the smart contract version of that.
Oh, so okay. It's just an instance of that. And the purpose of that was?
Well, it's a redeployable instance. So it's like, if you go to aragon.onehive.org and you say, hey, I want to create a DAO, they give you these templates. And so you can kind of pick a template and be like, I want it to be a membership DAO, you know? Or actually, I want it to be a dandelion DAO or a reputation DAO, right? Well, there'll be a gardens template. And so then you'll be like, oh, I want to create a garden, which is the Commons model that we're using. So they'll click the garden, and then there'll be like a lot of questions because this is a pretty complicated template. There'll be a lot of questions like, okay, what do you want your min hatch goal to be? Your max hatch goal? How much time for your hatch? And it'll just ask you every single question, and then you'll have an economy. It's incredible, really. So we're going to have the first instance of that template, but then it'll be very repeatable.
Okay, so OneHive has this thing up there. It works, and now what? What do we do? What does our work for?
Well, so it depends on whose hat you're wearing. Because if you're wearing the TEC hat, you don't even care. Not really, because we have our own DAO and it's running and there's the economy going. If you're wearing the Commonstack hat, then you're like, cool, wow. So we need to make sure people don't use this the wrong way. We need to make sure people know how to like build a culture around it. Here's the cultural handbook that goes with deploying this. Eventually, here's Random Shinichi's CAD model that you can use to simulate, what happens if you have these different parameters, right? Like that's the end goal.
Okay, so is TE Commons running on this Aragon OneHive smart contract stuff?
Almost. We have right now. We're doing like little pieces of prototypes. So we did a hatch prototype on Rinkeby, and it was just the hatch, and then that was it. And then we did a conviction voting template, which is still running, gov.tecommons.org. And you can go there and you have impact hours, so you can actually like create a proposal and vote to send money to you. You could send money to yourself for doing the CAD model and vote for it. I'd vote for it, dude. And you could get like $10. Probably not a lot, but it'd be fun. And then we have that's like its own standing instance. And then we have convert.tecommons.org, which is its own standing instance of the bonding curve. It's not done yet. And then we're going to have another, I think we're going to actually just integrate Dandelion, the Dandelion voting, into gov.tecommons.org so that you can also vote to change the parameters of things, because that's the cool thing, is this is all upgradable once it's working. So there's kind of these 4 different like modules. And then for the next test run, we're going to do the whole thing all, instead of individual prototypes that aren't really like talking to each other, we're going to stitch them together and have the hatch. And then when the hatch is over, boom, the bonding curve starts, conviction voting starts, Dandelion is there, and we can start voting on things. We can pass proposals. We can, buy and sell into the bonding curve. And then it'll be like a kind of I wouldn't even call it a dress rehearsal, more like just like a practice round. And then we might even have one more dress rehearsal for the final parameters that we choose. Sorry, long rant.
But sorry. So if Aragon, if OneHive has a working template out there, it's all tested already, why are we still doing things like piecemeal right now?
No, they don't. We're OneHive Gardens Swarm is building that template while they're building it for us. So the template isn't there yet.
They don't have a bonding curve, Andrew. They're just continuous issuance. They don't have a bonding curve. They're only conviction voting. And they're attaching now some liquidity pools and other things. But yeah, just because we have just a couple of minutes left, if it's okay, and Andrew, happy to carry on this discussion, and it is really valuable. And if you have these questions, certainly I'm sure a lot of people have these questions, so hopefully this latest blog will help to clear some of that up, and hopefully we can continue on explaining this higher level view of what is the Commonstack versus the TEC. And I think going back to what Zeptimus said, what I'm hearing is that we need some more communications around what projects can actually be funded and what are considered TE public goods. So this is super valuable feedback so that we can start to put this more into our communications. And I think that goes along with what Livia is saying about highlighting some of the different projects within our own group. And Andrew, I did not know that you wrote a blog post. So please send it to me. I would love to take a look and see how we can integrate that into our comms for TEC, whether we put it on our TEC blog or if we repurpose it. I would love to see that. And yeah, thank you for offering to do a follow-up. So please DM me and we can chat about the best way to do this going forward. Does that answer some of your questions, Andrew? And did you have anything else you wanted to share surrounding, I mean, this is helpful just to hear you say, I don't really understand some of the, or like, please explain this higher level. Did you have any other feedback or want to respond to what Griff was saying before we close out?
No, it's cool.
Okay, I didn't know you wrote a blog. I would love to see that. So does anybody else for 1 or 2 minutes have any other thoughts? This is great. I'm so glad we have some time to have some open dialogue about having the visual diagram of the stock and flow so people can get a visual on it, promoting more of our projects and what projects can be funded, and TEC versus TE or versus Commonstack is in the works. Any other last thoughts?
Yeah, I'll jump in for a sec, Jess. Just something on my mind I want to share. Speaking of sort of visualizing the stock and flow diagrams, I just want to bring your attention for a moment to this idea that there's going to be a lot of information coming out now because like the Twitter has just been launched. Now the YouTube channel is running. There's the blog posts going. And the website is going to be launched, right? And then there's the Discord channel. So I think there's this sort of web of information that's going to be blossoming. And I think it'll be important to stay ahead of that cognitively and think about what's the web of information and in relation to onboarding, you know, what are people going to be exposed to first? And then what's that going to lead them to? And what's going to be the funnels that kind of route people through diving into this ecosystem and exposing themselves, whether it's through the YouTube videos or seeing the Twitter posts, and then sort of what are the end, where do we want people to land? Like we can kind of design the procedure of information consumption and then ideally have people sign up and enter the conviction voting or however we may see them participating. So I just want to sort of put that visualization out there for people to think about.
Brilliant. Yeah, this is part of the story canvas work that needs to be done. So I don't know if you have any bandwidth or time and would be willing to help me with that. And also we can get Eduardo going, our new contributor that Griff spoke to. So thank you. Yes, we need this different eyes and lens so we can keep focused.
I'm just,
Awesome.
I don't want to
love your help.
Promise things and then forget, then the week goes by and it slips my mind. So I'll send you a message, Jess, and definitely just pull me in on things. Like that, like the canvas. I do have some capacity, and we especially if it's like if we book something a couple days in advance, I'm happy to jump in.
Super appreciate it. All right, we've got 2 minutes. So anybody would like to share? Otherwise, we've got the Softgov call in 2 minutes. I just want to say thank you. This has been a really awesome call and shed a lot of new light on the things we should be focused on. So thank you so much for all of your feedback. I praise you all.
I want to pick quickly on what Gigi said, that I think this is part of the user journey, that it goes a lot with onboarding and with the narrative that is being built by the board too. So I think that could be a joint effort of comms and Softgov, and I really want to jump in that board also just with you. We can make a session and then start to develop this journey that Sham was talking about for the onboarding guide.
Or maybe next week we say we don't need a meeting and we'll just make it that work session, whoever wants to jump in, because we don't need to talk so much maybe about platforms or whatnot. This is actually, I want to move more maybe towards work sessions and then just make it opt-in, like, and it's maybe better. Okay, awesome. Have a beautiful day. I'll probably see all of you in the next call anyhow, but oh, I need to take a picture for praises. Just for documenting. Okay. Praises coming at ya, new blog, and see you on Softgov. Have an awesome day, and hope you get to do what you want to do every day, like eat and surf and nap and hide in your man cave.
Acro yoga.
And acro yoga.
Awesome. Thanks,
All right.
Jeff.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.